Hello, it's Petra Bay, and today we will be learning how to make this very cute little, I guess it's a blanket slash rattler slash stuffed animal, cute toy. For today's project, this is going to be a size 3.5 hook, or E, I believe that is. And this is the type of yarn I use, just a regular 4 medium yarn. I like this brand because it's really soft and it just and it's shiny, so it makes the project look pretty. In this video we're going to be learning how to make a bear, a pig, and a rabbit. To start, we're going to start with the head and the skirt here, but the first thing we're going to learn is the head, because the head shape will be the same for all these animals. The only thing, and the eyes, but that's a stitching. The only thing that should change is the ears and the nose or mouth area. So to get started, I'm going to put the little baby there, and I'm going to get my yarn. If you're having trouble with any stitches, make sure you go to my channel, because I have tutorials on how to do every stitch super slow to make it easiest for total beginners. To start, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go into this top stitch here with a slip stitch. This creates your little circle you're going to work into, which is like the top of the little bear. If you want to and you know how to make a magic circle, you can do that as well. What I'm going to do now is chain 2, 1, 2, and go into this middle space with 9 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And this tail part here can be pulled to make the top smaller, to close it off a little bit there. And now we're going to go into this top, you chain 2, so 1, 2, we're going to go into this top chain 2 space, and we're going to slip stitch across. That way we can complete our first round. Once we've completed our first round, the next 2 rows will be the same. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and you're going to single crochet into this space, the same space right here that we chained 2 in. Once we've done that, we're going to move over to this next single crochet, the top of that, and we're going to single crochet twice into the same space. And then you go over to the next one with the same thing, 2 single crochets. We are doing increased single crochets all the way around. Our first round, if you count the chain 2 space, is 12. And when we do this, it increases our round. So you should have 24. If you want to be precise, you can count all your stitches. And you should have 24 around the second row. Alright, and once we're done getting our 24, we're going to go into the top of this chain 2 space again, this top second chain. Slip stitch over, we're going to chain 2, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go into this very next stitch and single crochet twice into that same. We're increasing, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet by itself into the next stitch, and then double crochet twice into this next stitch. And that goes all the way around. We're going to single crochet into the first one and double crochet 2 single crochets into the next one. And since we had 12 here and 24 the second time, if we're just increasing every other, I believe that will be 36 around if you need to count your stitches. And I'm just going to skip around and meet you for the 4th row. Alright, now that we're done with round 3, we should have 36. I went ahead and slip stitched over into the top of the chain 2 space, and now I'm going to chain 2 again, 1, 2. And this time, I believe I am going to go into each one around. So you should have 36 when you get done with this round. We're going to just go into each one around with a single crochet, and we'll do that for 7 rows. We're going to go into the next stitch with a single crochet, go into that next one with a single crochet, go into the next one with a single crochet, and all the way around. We're going to do that 7 times total. This counting is your first one, and then 6 more, and then I'll meet you back here. When you do go around, it will start bowling up if you're super new to crocheting, so don't worry. About halfway through those rounds, it'll start getting, you'll start finding like your little shape. So I'll see you whenever you get done. Alright, after your 7 rows, well, these are your 3 first rounds, and after your 7, you should have 10 altogether if you count them down. And this is what you should have, kind of like a little goofy looking circle, but we're going to close that in a second. These next 2 rounds are identical. We're going to start decreasing to create, to close in this bowl look. So by doing that, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to go into this next one with a single crochet, and instead of yarning over and pulling through, we're going to go into this next space, grab some more yarn like you're doing a single crochet, and then when you have the 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. I'm going to show you that again. We're going to go into this next space, grab the yarn, and instead of yarning over, pulling through, we're going to go straight into this next one, grab our yarn. Once you have 3 on your hook, you yarn over and pull through. So that's our decreased single crochet, and we're going to do that all the way around. And see how it's starting to already come in a little bit. So I'm going to finish that off and meet you at the next round, which will be the same, but I'll meet you there anyways. Alright, now that we're here, there's actually 1 extra here, and I know exactly why. It's because my first chain 2 space I forgot to decrease, but that's fine. What I'm going to do is just put 1 more single crochet. I'm not going to get upset about that at all. And then I'm going to go into this top 2 space with a slip stitch. So instead of probably what would be half of, I think we were on 36, would be 13, we're going to have 14, which is fine. Pretty sure. So now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and this is what our little work looks like. And we're going to now, actually, before we even start this, if you have any kind of little cotton you want to put in here, or a little rattle, you can do so. I'm not going to, just for the video, but if you want to, you just kind of push it in there as far as you can, but leave some room to be able to crochet another round, and then you can push more cotton into there. But if you do have a rattle or anything, right now is the best time, because once you close this next one, you won't have enough room to slip it in. So if you have that, add it now. And we're going to decrease single crochet around. I'll give you an idea of what it should look like here. And since I didn't do the single crochet decrease on the round before this, I'm not going to do it with this one. So if we end up with the extra, we'll do the same thing we did before, just single crochet, a normal single crochet, without worrying about an exact size. And this part's a little tricky just because your holes are bigger here, but also your work is closing in. So Make sure if it's hard for you, you just work this the best way you can. And I know with stuffing, that makes it a lot harder. Alright, and I think I'm coming to the end here. Here we go. Alright, and just as I suspected, we had one extra. Whoa, sorry, that was really close to the camera. So we're just going to do one single crochet. And then I'm going to slip stitch into that top 2 space. Oopsie, sorry, my yarn came off. My hook came off my yarn. And then I'm going to leave about anywhere from 5 to 6 inches of yarn, because later we're going to use this yarn to weave into the blanket later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this little hoop up that I just got my yarn off of, my hook off of, and I'm going to go into it with this, and I'm just going to pull that so it's secure. And so yeah, and then that gives you your little head with more cotton in it. It'll be bigger unless you've already figured that out. But yeah, this can since we did a single crochet, this can stretch without you seeing holes through it, hopefully. Alright, so right here I've actually just stuffed, and I even put in a little squeaker in my little ball here. So the next thing I want to do is show you how I do the eyes. I didn't think about it earlier, but some people like to do features on dolls before they're stuffed. I like to do them after. It's just the way, I don't know, that I'm comfortable doing it. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I double did my thread. I just pushed it through and pulled it to what I liked, cut it, and then tied it in a knot here. And now I like to actually make this ridge here where you do your chains. I actually like to make that the side instead of the back, because no one really notices the side of the doll as much, I think, as front to back. So that just gives it a nicer look, I think. So I'm going to keep it about right here because the seam is right here. And then I'm going to look at my doll for just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's about 7 or 8 stitches in between the eyes and width. And where these decreases are, you would start the eye 2 above that. So you're going to work in these 2 regular single crochets around. And then I'm going to do one close to where the side, you just kind of eyeball so much. I'm sorry if that doesn't help some of you, but I'm going to go straight through the back of my work. And whenever I do this, I'm going to make sure I go through one of the crochet holes, so that whenever I go through this and to come out, I'm going to come out kind of on the side here where I want my eye to kind of start the right side of the eye, and it's on the top of this first single crochet row we want to work in. That way whenever I pull this through, this should go straight in there just with the easy pull. You don't have to snag it super hard, but I can tell that it's right behind here or somewhere entwined in the yarn, in the cotton, making it pretty secure. And just pull it till it kind of bounces, nothing super hard. So then what I'm going to do is just form the eye. I'm starting here, and then I kind of want to go down because I know that this is going to bring it down. The best thing to do, I guess, whenever you're doing this is to kind of eyeball the eyeball. That sounds so goofy. But across, you're going to get about 3. You're going to have 3 of these single crochets in between. So 1, 2, 3, you see? So just kind of make your own guide. I start from the top of this single crochet, and then I kind of work my way into the middle or bottom of this single crochet row right below it. And then you go 3 across. So I'm going to do that now, and this I guess just comes with experience. So again, I'm sorry if me winging it doesn't tell you much, but I'm showing you the way I do it. And yeah, and if you don't get it right, you could just take it out and start again. But I just kind of do it until it gives me like a good little line. Sometimes the super neat way isn't always the cute way anyways. None of my eyes always match exactly the same. Let's see, you can even do a thinner eye. On the bear, I like a thicker eye. And on something like the piggy or the rabbit, it's kind of cute to have a thin eye though. And especially because against the brown there, it's kind of hard to see it, so having it thicker makes it just look nicer, and doing something thick on something so light and delicate can look really hard sometimes. So I think I'm close to done with the eye part right here. And then I'm going to start working on the little lashes. If you're going to add little lashes, I like to add 2 because I think it's just enough to be cute. It's not super, doesn't have a whole bunch of eyelashes, but it's just enough to just be sweet. Alright, and whenever I do that, I'm going to use about this, I went about halfway down this single crochet. So I'm going to go about to the bottom, if not the top of the decrease. I'm just going to go into there. I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see it. And I'm actually going to pull over to where I'll already be on my other side for my other eyelash. Not going all the way over to the very end of the eye slit, but close. And then I would pull this very lightly, because the harder you pull, the more it's going to disappear into the stitch, and the more stitches you're actually going to have to put on top of that, and it could look just kind of like a mess. So I'm going to put my second one here and have it come out on the slit so I can kind of see what I'm doing, see if I need to go over anything. And gently pull, nothing super hard. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to go over them one more time. I'm going to go into here, and then I'm going to go behind my work to where I'm going to be on the, I'm actually going to start from the bottom of this. And you kind of mess with your yarn without, your string without pulling it tight. Gently, gently, gently. There we go. And then I'm going to go back into the, I'm actually going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into the top here. And then when I do that, I'm going to pull this same string I've got on my, I'm going to pull this all the way over to where I want to start the next eye, is how I'd normally do it. And I'll show you how to get there, and then I'll skip forward to more features of the animals. So I'd said before there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think there's like anywhere from like 6 to 10. You just kind of figure out what width looks cute for you. I think I'm going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 7 might be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm going to start on this top space like I did on the first one. You kind of pull it over till you find that top space of the second single crochet up, and lightly pull it. And if there's just one on your string there, what I would advise doing is kind of pulling the string apart and give it like just a little tug. Yeah, see, I picked the right one out. Sometimes you don't pick the right one out and you end up pulling it too tight, so just be careful of that. And yeah, then you would do your second little eye. And then this one's the piggy, so I'll show you how to work the ears and the snout, and then we'll work on the other little animals. Alright, and here I'm actually going to show you how I tie off my little guy here. I'm going to stick my yarn into here one last time and just pinch off a little piece of that yarn. And once you have a hoop here, I'm going to put my needle under that and then pull it through. This is just, or you can just start with your knot, or you could just do this, but I'm going to do both. I'm going to slip that through, and then I'm going to put probably just one knot. If you put too many, you can see it on your eye, but I think one is plenty on this. And then I'm going to poke it through and pull it through from anywhere. You can pull it through from anywhere, 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 just like that. Make sure you got all yours pulled through. And I've lost every pair of scissors I've had, so down to the clippers. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull it a little tighter than normal. That way whenever I cut this off, your thread falls through, because you've pulled it tight enough to where you pull it through the cotton, and when you cut it, it hides in there. So yeah, and that's how you would make your little thing. Now we're going to work on the snout. So, and I think I'm just now making the piggy for the first time. I think I might do the same color snout as I would as I did the project itself, because I think that that would be cute. And maybe I'll do black lines on the nose. We'll see how that turns out, but I think that that'll do. So what I'm going to do is kind of do that slip stitch like we started with. I'm going to chain, how many do I want to chain? I think I'm going to chain 3. And I'm going to slip stitch into the top of this chain 3 space. And kind of look at my work, because it already is, you know, getting big like this. And I think that that's just going to be my snout. I think that's it. That's pretty small. If you need to add a chain, do that. I'm going to cut it here. And then with this hoop, I'm just going to pull this through. And then I've got these two that I can, you can either sew it on, or you can tie it on with the yarn here. I'm going to tie it on with the yarn or the needle. I don't know. I'll tell you in just a second, but I'm going to turn it off to figure out that part, and I'll be right back. Alright, so what I've done here is I have pulled my yarn through from the front of the work here to the inside of the back and tied it off. And it's not secure yet like this. It's kind of hanging just halfway on there. So what I'm going to do next is I just figured I could make the snout instead of making more work for myself and sewing it on, trying to find a pink thread. I'm just going to put my thread through here and make the snout and see if that helps secure it even more, because it should, because of the in and out and pushing against it. So what I'm going to do is tie my string off here, and I'm going to go just in through this cotton, and I'm just going to find a nice space on the side to where little lines for nose holes would be cute, and this should pull through the cotton a little bit. And I'm just going to poke a cute little size hole, and we'll see what that looks like. Oh, I'm super happy with that. I think that's cute. So now I'm going to pull it through again and make my other side. You want to make them just far enough to where they're kind of just sweet. If they're not the same size or they're crooked, I think just crooked and monstery and goofy is better than perfection any day. And so I'm going to go through here and push through again to the bottom and see what I got. Oh, see, that one kind of disappeared. I pulled it a little too tight, so what I'm going to do is go through and just make it a little more prominent there. Yeah, let's let you be able to see it a little better. Yeah, and it's still kind of hiding, so I'm just going to work with it and make these as dark or as faint as you want. I think I'm going to make mine a teeny bit more dark. But I am running out of thread, so maybe I'll make one nose hole bigger than the other. Oh, see, that's cute. I like that this one's kind of curved, this one's kind of straight, and that one's bigger than the other, so I'm going to leave it. I think that this is precious. And now I'm going to work on the little ears. So yeah, and I'm going to do this like I do most things and just wing this little part too. We're going to do our slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 4. Alright, and so this is going to be our little ear. I'm actually going to chain 1 extra, 2 extra. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all together. And then I'm going to do a half double crochet into the third one from the hook. So that's yarning over just like you would normally do a double crochet, and that's pulling through all 3 of these. And I'm gonna do another half double crochet in the next space, just like that. And in these next 2, I'm actually gonna do a double crochet, and we'll see what kind of ear that comes out to be. I think that is just perfect and cute. And the best part is you can just flop it down. So you'll, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I really shouldn't be doing things for the first time on here because I'm going to get way too excited. So there we go. I'm going to clip it. And then this little hoop, I'm going to pull through. Whoop. And then this will go, I usually do it just a little right of where the eyes are, but this one, it can be pretty lined up because the eyes are already far apart. But yeah, and then you would, what I'd probably do here is come from behind, grab the yarn, come from behind, grab the yarn, tie it together here in the back with a double knot, take my hook from inside and pull those 2 through, or you can sew them on tightly if you want. But yeah, and that will make the piggy face. And then, oh my gosh, and then we'll work on the bunny. We'll do the bunny next. But yeah, so I'll see you in a minute. Bye-bye. Alright, here's our little bunny guy, or lady. Super cute. It's a lot like the pig ears, actually. I haven't got those on yet, but I'm going to show you how I did those, and then they just naturally kind of scrunch, which is fun. If you want to do something more uppity, you could probably even get those to stick up. Yeah, see, they could stick up too. Ooh, one up and one down is pretty cute. So I'm going to leave this right here, and then I'm going to get started on how to do that. So what we're going to do is get our, there we go. We're going to get our work going here. We're going to end up chaining, let's see, we chained 6 for that. I'm going to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to do the same exact kind of thing here. I'm going to yarn over, go into the 3rd chain from the hook, and I'm going to do a half double crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm actually going to go 1 more, I think. There we go. And then I'm going to do a double crochet into the next 3 all the way to the end, and then this should leave you with your little bunny ear. There we go. So yeah, and then it kind of naturally just fold it down, it stays. You can put it up and it stays. So yeah, that's fun. You can do 2 of those. And then I was going to point out, I was just going to show you how the look of the nose looks on the bunny here. I wanted to do just something super simple because with these, less is more. Just tiny sweet features can be the best, and I want them to look a little different. Like this snout is really small on the pig when normally it would be bigger, and on a bear I guess the snout could be big, but I wanted this one to be big because bears, you know, are super fun. And with bunnies I wanted something super sweet. So what I did is I put my yarn in from the back, and I went up one of these single crochets and pulled it through, and then I went over, and I just made this sweet little V, or it's kind of X. It's like in between a V and an X shape, and I just tied it off. That's as simple as it gets for the bunny rabbit. And the bunny rabbit has a little squeaky too, and I thought that this could have a jingle because bears are just so fun like that. So yeah, and it's going to be the little bear snout. What we're going to do is create the slip stitch and chain 4, and once we've done that, we're going to go into this top space on our hook, the first chain and slip stitch, and then chain 2. Once we've done that, we're going to go into the middle space with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And once we have that, you kind of pull this tight. You can go all the way around, or you could stop short. I like the snout to be like a little wonky, not perfect, but if you want a perfect circle, go all the way around with your single crochets until you get to the end, slip stitch at the top of the chain 2 space, and then you can cut your string and tie off. What I'm going to do is cut this, pull it through, and then like I did like what I did with the pig, I'm just going to cut it off and double knot my yarn from the inside or either in the front and pull the yarn in so you can't see it, but use most my binding nose on with just doing the nose itself with needle and thread. And so what I did with needle and thread is just like I did with the piggy. I came in from behind. The technique's the same to put the eyes on as the nose, and then I kind of wanted to go for that back and forth upside down triangle look, but then I decided, oh, it looked just too happy and perfect, so I kind of made his nose a little bigger on one side, and instead of putting his little face down, I think I had his little face going down on each side. It looked like almost like a little sad or mad. I just dropped it down and left it without making a complete smile or frowny face. I think that this way looks cute. And now I'll show you how to make these little cute ears. Let's see. I'm just going to use my pink to show you, just because. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do the same thing we were doing a minute ago. We're going to chain 4, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch into this top space. This time we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to work 9 double crochets into this middle space, and then see what we have. This is 2, and that's not counting the chain 3 space. That is also counted as a double crochet at the end. I'm going to not count that just quite yet. So we want 9 of the double crochets, and then the chain 3 will be a double crochet once we start to count. Alright, I think I'm getting close to the end there, so I'm going to end up counting these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then with the chain 3, that would be 10 altogether. And that made a very fun little ear. What I'll do at this point is I'm going to cut it off for you guys to let you see it. Oop. Once I do that, I'm going to pull this like that again, and I actually like to drag my tail all the way to the other side. That way I have something on this side and that side. Whenever I pull it through, I usually pull it through just right above the eyes again. You would just kind of make those off to the side a little bit. I do that, and I would just go under my work, pull this through, pull that through, and when you get those under a stitch a piece, just double knot it, and then take your hook, come in from behind or from the inside, and pull those strings into your work so they're not sticking out. But yeah, and you just make 2 of these just the same, or you could even make them different. That would be fun. But yeah, that's how you make the bear, the little rabbit, and the little piggy, and they're just so fun. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to subscribe so I can keep making videos, and have a good rest of your day. And remember, the how-to video on how to do this spiral blanket stitch is on my channel. I think as of right this second, it's my most viewed video. So go check that out to learn how to do that. Whenever you do it, you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 or more rounds around. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you find ways to be creative yourself, and happy crocheting!